February 4th is annually observed as the World Cancer Day, and it's a day set aside to raise awareness about all forms of cancer, and Nigeria was not left out of the celebration for this year. The theme for the year 2025 World Cancer Day is United by Unique. But this morning, our conversation essentially is going to be on albinism and skin cancer. And we all know that people living with albinism are at risk of skin cancer due to low pigment of their skin. And these are one of the major factors why they are usually prone to skin cancer. Of course, we'll also be talking about the kind of treatment available, the symptoms, and some of the risk factors that are responsible for albinism and skin cancer. We have joining us this morning to look at this, Tolani Ojuri. Tolani Ojuri is a disability rights advocate. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Let's start this conversation by first of all speaking to the theme for the year 2025 World Cancer Day, which is United by Unique. What is your own understanding of the theme for this year's celebration of the World Cancer Day?
Yeah, the theme for like 3 years is a 3-year theme.
2025 to 2027.
2027, yes, and it basically brings together different kinds of cancer with different treatments, and I mean with different kinds of treatment to cure the cancer. It's like converging everybody, despite the peculiarities involved in the different kind, because each patient with the kind of treatment required. But everybody now comes under one umbrella to really work towards the treatment and eradication of cancer.
I'm sure you were part of this year's celebration. So what were the activities that were lined up during the celebration for the year 2025 World Cancer
Yeah,
Day?
for us, we had media around, we had media parties, we had forums, and this year we decided to put boots on ground to really go on the streets, marketplaces, places of worship, to motor parks, to really to create the awareness of cancer. For us, not just skin cancer for us, it's for our lifestyle and the things that causes it. Because I can't talk about just persons with albinism and the sun. No, cancer cuts across. You have cancer of different parts of the body. And like we make people understand that yes, early intervention is just the way to go. You don't have to wait till it gets out of hand. And the way even the things we eat, the kind of creams and makeup we rub on our faces and all that, some not designed for our temperature, all that, we had that conversations on the streets. And I mean, that was the difference in this year's celebration of World Cancer Day. So the last person.
Okay, so let's focus more on skin cancer now and albinism. Beyond the lack of skin pigment, what is it with albinism and skin cancer?
Basically, albinism is lack of pigmentation in the skin, in your eyes, in your hair. And this pigment, I mean, the pigmentation, the melanin that you have, in which I don't have, protects you from the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Persons with albinism don't have that. So when the sun rays hit, it hits directly. And that's why persons with albinism are always told to stay away from the direct rays of the sun. So that's basically it. And continuous exposure to the sun rays over time, you start having skin patches. If not taken care of, it now develops onto skin cancer.
But when you look at our climate here, our weather is quite harsh, and there is no way you are going to abstain completely from exposing yourself to the sun. So somebody living with albinism, living in Nigeria, how does that kind of person prevent him or herself from getting exposed to the sun?
Okay,
because of our climate?
Yes, let me start from the back. I know a good number of people above 60, above 70, who are persons with albinism, who had lived all their lives in Nigeria. Yes, it had not been an easy task, but they survived it. And when asked how they did it, is to keep themselves away from the rays of the sun. it's a long process because it starts from their days in school. You inform the school authorities, these students should not be exposed to the rays of the sun. No outdoor activities, either agric or either physical activities, no outdoor. And the person with albinism too, right from a very tender age, we get them informed, no, you can't afford to say you want to play football at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m., 4 p.m. when the sun is at the highest. It's a no-no. We explain to the parents, you need to use sunscreens for these children every time, either they are going out or not. You need to wear caps like this, wide brim caps that protects your head, your face, your neck from the rays of the sun. If you can get that done, then you're good to go. And of course, you pick jobs that keeps you away from the direct heat of the sun. Of course, you won't come and tell me that you want to do a job that keeps you out in traffic, or you want to hawk in traffic, or you want to do anything that exposes you to the sun. It's a no-no as a profession. And if you can you could juggle it. I know it's not easy, but people have, with so much awareness, they've been able to juggle it.
Okay, I am more concerned about the children now in our schools, in our various vocational centers. Do we have any policy of government in place that are tailored towards protecting these children from getting exposed? Because as a parent, you can just walk into a school, tell the school proprietor that, okay, I don't want my child exposed to the sun. And the school might act contrary to your instruction. Yes.
In Lagos State, yes. There's a national albinism policy. There's a Lagos State law on protection of persons with disability in Lagos. And at the moment, we're working through Lagos State Office of Disability Affairs, LASODA, and Ministry of Education. Just like what you said, we get to talk to teachers, we get to talk to students. Once a year, the Ministry of Education gets all children with albinism in Lagos. We get them into a town hall meeting. We talk to the children about their challenges. We talk to the counselors as well, who in turn talk to the teachers. And the school authorities, it's because we have private schools, we have public schools, and we keep trying to explain to them the reason why this child should not be exposed to the sun at a very tender age. Because research has shown that if a child is kept well till 13, 14, that child is good to go for life. So that enlightenment program is a continuous one through LASODA, through Ministry of Education. Ministry of Youth too are giving us so much support. So we're trying to get in Ministry of Health now, whereby we will just stay out, we won't just stay within the education system. It's to go on the streets, because we don't have all the children in the education. Unfortunately, we don't have them in schools.
Okay, from my research before coming to the studio this morning, I've seen that there is an increase in the number of people with albinism battling with skin cancer, and of course, we have equally recorded some death. What are people like you, disability rights advocate like you, doing to ensure that even when people have skin cancer, I know the treatment is quite expensive, they at least have access to treatments and all kinds of support to navigate this difficult path?
Yeah, as at 2023, as at last quarter of 2023, the statistics that we have, once a month, on the average, we lose persons with albinism to skin cancer in Lagos. Lagos State government stepped in first quarter of 2024 with funds for persons with skin cancer, persons with albinism with skin cancer. So it was a collaboration between Lagos State government through LASODA and LASUT, that's the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital. Yeah, so we got all persons with albinism with skin cancer. We got them to LASUT, they were reviewed, and Lagos State government picked up the bills. So they went through surgery, some went through chemo, some went through pre-cancer treatment. And we found out that the cost of treating skin cancer, we can't continue treating skin cancer at that huge cost. This is a kind of cancer that you can see it. You don't even need to you can see it when it starts. Unfortunately, it doesn't really pain like that. So we explained to the government that instead of treating skin cancer back to back, can we have a prevention process, kind of a scheme whereby we have persons with albinism checked. So before randomly. The cancer goes out of hand, not even randomly, it's compulsory. Now we have a campaign. If you see anybody with albinism anywhere, either in your church, either in his car, tell them to go to Lasut and get their skin checked. Because that how
often should that be?
That's like every 3 months or every 6 months. Every 3 months. And the check is just a full body check. Because we are saying Lasut because Lasut has got dermatologists.
Okay.
Dermatologists are skin specialists that you don't find everywhere. And it's not every doctor that can take care of the skin of persons with albinism. They don't even know what to look for sometimes. So that's it to them. So Lasut has got a skin unit funded by Lagos State government. All we're just telling them to do is just go there, strip, let them check you, and go. If there's a problem at a very early stage, Lagos State had made provision for pre-cancer creams that takes care of that. So rather spend 300,000, 200,000 to take care of that at the very early stage than spending 5 million, 10 million to treat an advanced stage of skin cancer. So that's the campaign now. That is check. Just go and check. So that's it for, and apart from you going to check, Lagos State's government through Lasoda also made provision for sunscreens for persons with albinism. Sunscreens for every person with albinism in Lagos, and provision of this kind of caps and the umbrellas for persons with albinism. So it's prevention and early intervention that helps everybody. Save money for the government, save the life of persons with albinism.
And the screening is free.
Well, the screening is free. You get a fold. I think you just register with Lasut. You get the card registered, and that's all.
But let's look beyond Lagos now. In other parts of the country, is the advocacy the same?
Well, they say Lagos is the center of excellence. Yes, and the project we had last year, just a year this year, and fortunately we were in Abuja last month, and they're trying to mirror what we've been able to get here in Lagos all over the country. Of course, the demography is different, the dynamics, culture, and religion in other states are different. So we're trying to tweak it. The advocacy government-wise is not really the same. Culture up north and the, you have far-flung areas that don't even get to hear, or you don't even get to see some people at all. Some people don't even have the phones. They don't have access to electronic media that we do here. So we are looking at having other programs. We're talking to the dermatologists, for instance. They have a national body, and we are telling them, can we have your directory whereby persons with albinism, probably in Sokoto or in Nasarawa states, can have access to these people and check them? Because the painful truth is, you just see them come, they bring them to Abuja when it is late. So like, okay, what we've done in Lagos, can we just do it, or just have, tweak it here and there? And early intervention, prevention is what we have. As I speak with you, that discussion is going on in Abuja. We've given them the blueprints of what we had in Lagos, and that's what they're trying to roll out nationwide. I'm sure before the end of the year, we would have that in place.
Okay, let's talk more about the symptoms now, or the signs that will tell someone living with albinism that, okay, I think I'm beginning to have skin cancer or so, because ignorance is not an excuse anywhere. So what are those signs that they will see that would at least tell them that this is skin cancer, and what should be the steps that they should take?
It's a red patch. Yeah, we tell people, once you see anything on your skin and it doesn't disappear within 2 weeks, 1 month, just go see the doctor. Because mosquito bites will not last more than a week, or probably 2 weeks maximum. A wound on your skin that doesn't heal in less than 2-3 weeks or a month, just go see. Don't even go to the chemist. Don't go to see. Just find your way to last. Yeah, we understand that the man living in Ekpe, or the man living in Badagry, or the guy living at the extreme parts of Lagos. That's the challenge we have at the moment, that we don't have enough dermatologists that will go to those places and do. But before the end of the year, we plan to do outreaches to the 5 senatorial districts, whereby we tell them we're coming to this senatorial district, we'll just do the checks. This checks doesn't take, you could check 100 people in less than 2-3 hours and we're done. It's not something you use a thermometer or you have to go and have a test. But once the dermatologist sees there's a problem, they pick them out. But anything on your skin that does not heal in less than a month, just go show up at LASUT.
Okay, I can imagine. You have a question? Okay, I'm coming. I can imagine what those outside of Lagos State will be going through. You just mentioned now that we do not have enough dermatologists, and of course, the Lagos State government is doing a lot to support people living with albinism in fighting skin cancer. In other parts of the country, what are the challenges facing people living with albinism from your research?
It was more than research. This time last week, we were in Abuja, the state coordinators from 18 states all over the country. And some states don't even have a dermatologist at all. They don't have the contact of any dermatologist. Some states, the government had not even made provisions for funds to buy any sun protection materials for them. Some states don't even know what to do. Sincerely, both the person with albinism and the government, they don't know what to do. Yes, I mean, we are lucky here. We had a collaboration with our government, and the blueprints in which we used, here, as in, we started with a courtesy visits to the commissioners, to the PAMSEC. We started talking to them at that level. So, well, this is a blueprint. This is what we used here. Enlighten your government, look through your budget, provisions that have been made somehow, somewhere, for these things, talk to them, and let's start this way. At the end of the day, it will be a win-win for you, person with albinism, for the government. So yes, it's like climbing a hill for a lot of other states within the country. And well, we're working hard with them. And like I said, before the end of the year, I'm sure that within the 6 geopolitical regions of the country, we would have better presence and we will have a better collaboration. The Dermatological Society of Nigeria, they are really willing. They promise to send us a kind of directory whereby we could find, even states that don't have dermatologists, a resident dermatologist, they could go to the neighboring states and have a collaboration with that. Yeah, there could be other things, cost of transportation and all that. We will look for funds to take care of that. Another major problem that we have sincerely is that some persons with disability, they just don't care. And that we will take care of in-house. We will tell them the reason why you should care, give them a better reason for, give them better reasons for living, and it's like a psychological thing. People just give up, like, oh, I've tried this, I've tried that, and still going back to the Lagos State blueprint. We still use that.
Let me allow you to answer the question of my colleague before I come back to why some of your members are reluctant in coming out.
Okay, so my question is about sunscreen now. Is it just any kind of sunscreen that people living with albinism can use? And then are there other sustainable alternatives that one can use if you cannot afford sunscreen?
The sunscreen, sun protection factor, that's the way they're classified. It's 50 plus upwards. Okay. And most of the times you don't find sunscreen with SPF 50 plus on the shelf. Yes, even abroad, you don't usually find them. So it's not just any kind of sunscreen. Sunscreen SPF 50 plus. Over time, we've had issues with some sunscreens within the market space. And working with our dermatologists, we found that, this particular brand, each time maybe some NGOs share them and give it to our people show up in less than 3 months with early stages of skin cancer. So the one Lagos State bought for us is the one we give our members. And that's the one they even get to give them when they go to the hospital. And with that one, we've not had any feedback of oh, this one had a side effect on me and all that. So we usually tell them, before you use anything, either a sunscreen or a lotion or anything, consult your dermatologist first.
So for those that are not living in Lagos now, so those in Lagos are covered. For those who are not living in Lagos, what are other sustainable sun protection alternatives that they can use?
Stay away from the sun. Stay away from the sun. Because the thing is, sincerely, a tube of sunscreen costs you about 15,000.
It's expensive,
Wow.
yeah.
Yes. And that's why, well, I hope I'm permitted to say a big thank you to Lagos State government. They made provision for that. And that's why we're trying to talk to other state governments. That's just it. Sometimes you just have people donating, some NGOs abroad donating and all that, but we need sustained, because it comes under disability extra costs for persons with albinism, because before you talk about your sunscreen, your photochromic lenses, your kind of clothes you wear and all that, it's a huge cost for parents with children with albinism, even adults that are working. So we just tell them that, okay, for starters, if you know you cannot afford the sunscreen, just stay away from the sun as much as possible before we get to that level of, constant provision of sunscreen in your state.
Okay. I'm just looking at so many things here. Can one completely stay away from the sun? That is one. And we have few dermatologists in the country, like you rightly said. So for those who are not enjoying any kind of subsidy, like you are enjoying in Lagos State, how expensive can the treatment for skin cancer be?
That really breaks my heart because treatment for skin cancer, if you have to go through surgery, after maybe 1, 2, 3 surgeries, after that you go through chemotherapy, after chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and you're looking between 3-5 million. And with that same amount of money, I can do a prevention program for almost 2,000-3,000 people on a steady that will keep them away from skin cancer at all. And the painful thing, this is why I said it breaks my heart, is even with the surgery, chemo, and radiotherapy, does not really guarantee you that that patient would survive. We lost someone last month. He was very, very painful. He had gone through the process. And he just died. So, of course, I mean, anybody that been close to a cancer patient will know that it's not 100% guarantee that, oh, this person after going through this treatment, in fact, person might be healed like that and the cancer might just come back all through again. So that's why we just want to stay away from it as much as possible. The cost is huge and it's just getting higher by the day.
So prevention make more sense?
Makes a lot of sense.
Okay, let's talk about the stigma being faced by people living with albinism. You just told us here now that they are not supposed to be exposed to the sun. For those who have children at home and they are not even proud to bring them out. So assuming they notice anything on their skin and they are not comfortable in bringing these children out, how would they be able to conquer the stigma that we have in our society?
The stigma, yes, we're really working on that. We try as much as
because whether
possible.
we like it or not, it's out there.
Yeah, the stigma is out there. Even here, even as adults, we still have it here. We still have it in our faces. People still say all sorts of funny things. You go to your children's school, some parents like you make some side comments and all that. You get that every time. But I mean, well, we went to very tough schools, so we had a tough skin very early in life. We have a one-on-one program now. We tell our members and we're telling the general public, if you see anybody with albinism, just advise them. And even for our members, once we find anybody, we go to them, like we go to them to evangelize to them. We spread the good news. Bring this child out. And we tell them, one day, you won't be there for this child. You won't live forever. So this child will have to go through life on his or her own. People will say whatever they want to say about the child, but hey, it's just one life. Let the child live. And we try to enlighten them as in what to do, how to speak to your child. You speak life to your child, no matter what. No matter what kind of child you have, like a child with disability, with albinism, deaf, blind, with CP, autism. Speak to your child. Speak life to your child. Just keep speaking. Yes, it might be very tough. Like, oh, you one day, you will be this, you'll be president, you'll be governor, you'll be an engineer, you'll be this and that. But you need to speak to your child. And we try to give those parents support. Some will tell you, I don't need support, I know what to do, but they always come back. They always, because we live in a very tough society. People will say something, it will just break you down completely. So we try to have a forum whereby we talk to the parents, and we have parents come together to share their experience. Oh, this has been my experience, this has been my challenge, and this was how I was able to overcome it, and other people get to share from it. So whether they like it or not, parents have to take their kids to school, and they have to allow them mix with the society, because, like I said, one day you will not be there for that child. And we provide them what Lagos State government gave us, we give to them. The sunscreen, the cap, the umbrella. Yes,
for them to use when they are going out.
For them to use, yes. You have to do a bit more than other parents. You have to walk your child to school, make sure that your child use it. Because there are times that we even give the children the cap and the umbrellas. They refuse to use it. Or they said, oh, my mates are laughing at me and all that. So it boils down to the parent. You need to monitor this child, and you need to let them know the reason why. Before, we show them the pictures of persons with skin cancer. So you choose one. Either you want to be like this in the future, or you want to protect your skin properly. And that had been helping over time, but I know we still have a lot of work to do.
So if they are protected early enough, there are chances that they might not have skin cancer at the end of the day.
Very, very high chance. I never had, and well, I was quite lucky. My mom worked in the health sector, so she knew what to do at a very early stage.
Oh, what about those who were exposed when they were children?
Those are the ones we are having now. This thing is because it might not come up in 20 years. Yes, so in fact, when I see some playing football in the open, I'm like, oh, no. This is a problem for the society in the next 1 or 2 decades. So I know how to play. No, it's not about you knowing how to play very well. No, you can't play football in the sun. We tell the school, no matter what the parent says, don't allow this child to go do anything, not even to go on break to play with other children in the sun. Keep the child in class. Look for other means of entertainment for the child. And there are ways to these things. I ride bicycle a lot. I ride long distances.
But not in the sun.
But not in the sun. I could get out of my house 6 a.m. By 8:30, 9, I'm back in my house. I could do late evening rides, 6:30, 7, and back. But never in the sun. Even when I'm caught up in the sun, maybe I went somewhere and had issues, I rack up, get off the bicycle, get a car, and I get back home. So there are ways to get this. If you want to jog, if you want to do outdoor, do it very early by 8 o'clock, 9 max, get back in the shade.
So how do you walk the children and the adults through the psychological problem? Because I can imagine a child in a classroom now seeing his mate playing football, playing outside, and you are telling the child not to step out. So how do you walk them through the psychological problem that they are likely to face?
We have meetings. Usually we have meetings once a month at our office in Jibo, and we change it to once in 2 months. We have resource people come to talk to us. We have people from the hospital, the medical circle come to talk to us. We have people from different other fields, because apart from you going out to play with your mates, there are other things you can do. Is to work on, we have psychologists who work with us as well. So it's all about your esteem, it's all about working on the child himself. You don't try to mask it. This is the situation we have. You're a person with albinism, you can't go dark, and this is what you're going to live with all your life. This is what the environment is playing at you. And so we keep talking to them and we keep monitoring them. You have other issues, bullying and all that, you're typing and all that. So,
and even some teachers are hostile to them.
Yes, very, 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 both in government school and in private schools. And we don't try to fight them. We work hand in hand with LASODA and we keep trying to explain to them. Before the end of the year again, we're going to have us inserted into the teachers training program, because Lagos State has a kind of program whereby they train their teachers constantly. So we go to those programs, keep talking to those teachers, because sometimes some teachers don't even know what to do with children with albinism. So we keep telling them that if we could show up like this, some people worked on us, because we are lucky. But children coming after the next generation, it's not about them being lucky, it's about the system and structure. The system being accessible, the system being inclusive for children, not just children with albinism, children with disability. So for them to really come into terms with, today it is me, tomorrow it could be your grandchild. So let's have it at the back of our mind that, yes, these children too have the right to live. They might not be able to function like, sit here and read what's at the door like every other child. That might never happen. But you should give your lesson notes to this child and let that child ride. Give the child extra time in class. It's a lot of work though, because we're talking to even the exam bodies, JAM, WAEC, we're talking to them, and they've done so much. But the gap is between those exam bodies and the school system, there's a gap. Okay. So you have JAM that made a provision for child with albinism because of the poor eyesight, and the school did not prepare that child for that provision made, because I hope I'm not digressing now, like a child writes in JAM, for instance, and WAEC, they give them larger prints. Okay. So we try to tell the schools, the school that right from GSS1, start prepping this child for this exam. With that, you have larger print provision for that child. And when they're registering for these exams, have it there that this child is a child with low vision. Okay. And so that gap is that gap is closed at every point in time. So I believe that by this year, next year, we will have all that sorted out. Yes.
All right. We thank you very much for this educative conversation. Tolani Ojuri, disability rights advocate, has been speaking to us on albinism and skin cancer. And he did say that prevention is always better than cure. If you are one of those with children living with albinism, the best way for you to protect them is not to expose them at all to the sun. And of course, do not allow them to play football inside the sun. We thank you once again for this conversation this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, we'll take a very quick break. When we come back, Adebimpe and Joy will be taking you through their conversation this morning. Stay with us.